We're all so sick of hearing about Tesla. We're going to take a hard turn and talk about something very, very different. The Boring Company. Yes, okay, so there'll be Teslas in the tunnels, but there will be, more importantly, more tunnels than ever before. I'm going to talk with my buddy Herbert about it because he knows a thing or two about a thing or 10. And we have had a discussion about this on his channel earlier in the week, but this will be covering it in greater depth, and I'll be playing the role of the guy who doesn't like to believe things. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. So let's just start by talking about the announcement in Tennessee. Tennessee is partnering with Elon on Tesla Tunnel. I don't know why they're calling it that, because I do. It drives clicks. You got to put Tesla in the headline. A privately developed tunnel project could soon connect travelers from downtown to the airport. Tennessee leaders announced Monday afternoon that the Boring Company has plans, the Music City Loop, to bypass the congestion. It's only 8 miles, but you know how long that can take during rush hour on the surface. They could have taken their next underground anywhere, but they saw something unique about Tennessee, and we are grateful. Governor highlighted that this will be a transformative travel experience and one that is 100% privately funded. And then, of course, Sean Duffy touted the strong draw of Nashville, which has been growing quickly, and said the project represents a goal of the administration to do a better job on the deliverables for infrastructure projects by not being involved and not paying for them. He didn't say that part, but I heard it anyway.
Yeah.
So let's talk about it. What is this? Why does it work?
Yeah, this is a very big deal, I think. This is the Boring Company. They created a tunnel. Looks like this underground that's going to connect the downtown, the convention center, to the airport. And it's an 8-minute drive. They'll use Teslas to pick you up and, consumers. And so instead of having to build a subway system and, subway model, you know how long those are and how expensive they are.
Billion a mile.
Shit. There you go. That's crazy. And how, how many years per mile too, right? It takes decades for these things to come out. But for the Boring Company to offer this for free, doesn't cost the city or Tennessee any money. And then because they know how quickly and how cost effective it is for them to build these tunnels. And then they will charge, consumers to be driven there. This removes thousands of vehicles daily from the roadways and the state highways. So it's going to ease congestion because it's underground, right? It's not going to disrupt anything on the surface. And then it's faster, quicker. That's what they've proven already in Las Vegas Loop. So this is just the beginning. Like, you can watch it happen. This is what Elon has envisioned in the past, right? The quicker, if you can make the creation of tunnels to be as cheap as possible, to as cost effective as possible, then you can solve so many problems, and congestion is the issue. So this is, one of the concerns that Boring Company had, why they're so slow. What Elon has said is the regulations. So once you see a city like this, first Las Vegas, now Nashville, agree to this, and they're offering it for free to the state, it's a no-brainer for everyone else to just replicate it.
Now, worth noting, the soil in Tennessee is not soil, it is rock. Mm-hmm. So that may slow things down a bit. What do you say to the people who say, well, I don't want a boring tunnel, I want a subway?
Why? What's the difference?
Well, subways can move more people.
Yeah. Is that true?
Only if you have enough people to move, and it moves them without point-to-point efficiency.
I think and the answer is cost to the taxpayers and time, how long it takes to get this thing going. We've all know about these ridiculous projects that have been announced that have just never materialized, and then they end up not producing very well. So, the future is autonomous, and you don't need to continue doing the old model. You've got these autonomous vehicles that it's going to be much more effective. So I think
train tunnels have a much wider diameter. And if you look at the difference between a 12-inch pizza and a 24-inch pizza, you will see it's not twice as much pizza. It's about 3.5 times as much pizza.
So for a subway, right, it's like you said quite a bit. And then if you had cars going through that, gas cars, you need to
Oh,
have bigger because you need to have space for the, the carbon emissions to exit. But
well,
if
and the
it's electric,
shoulders.
what's that?
If you've got human drivers, you also need shoulders,
You need shoulders
a
too. Yeah.
breakdown
So
lane.
a autonomous driving is is just so much more effective. Now they're going to have robo vans too. So this is first starting off with Tesla Model Ys, Tesla cars, but eventually once they have robo vans and different kind of form factors, it's basically the same as a subway. You can have these things so you can back to back to back to back like a train. You can do whatever you want to do, but then each car can separate off as they wish, like a bus. And then they can
Right.
even surface to the street and drive you to your house. I mean, these are it's endless what you could do at this point. So it's just so much more brilliant, smart to do it this way.
Well, you don't need to take the train to Penn and then change trains to get cross town. You just go to your destination. You go to the station. And there are a lot of people who say, well, I don't want this. I want a subway. I want a train. I want a monorail. The alternative to the boring tunnel in Las Vegas, to the boring tunnel in Tennessee, is not a train. The alternative is no alternative.
Yep.
There's no alternative. You don't get a new solution. You get more congestion on the surface. Hey, maybe you just really like hanging out on the way to something. Maybe the train is where you meet people. Don't do that. But hey, to each their own, I suppose. It feels like they've got to get serious here. So now there are other projects that have been announced that have been kind of quietly unannounced. I know Chicago was one. I know there are others that were in talks. I know Florida was another. What are we thinking this is actually going to happen? Is it different this time?
Well, first of all, they announced this that this is going to be expected. The construction is going to begin fall of 2025. So we're just talking a few months from now. The first segment of the loop system expected to be available in spring of 2026.
Mm-hmm.
So either they're lying and it's not going to happen, but this sounds like it's been planned and it's ready to go and the project's ready to hit up. And so for them
I
to
wouldn't
come up
call
with
it
these, yeah,
a lie. I would call it at worst overly ambitious. We haven't seen, no one has seen outside the company, their tests with soil that is not soft. We've seen them do dirt and sand, and I'm confident they could do clay very well, but rock is quite another matter. But
And also, you had all the top officials come out and claim it, right? So you got the Tennessee Department of Transportation, you got the Governor Bill Lee, you got the Metro Nashville Airport Authority, the Music City Convention Center, the Nashville Chamber of Commerce, and then you had Secretary Sean Duffy come out and make this announcement too. So hopefully that means that it's been approved at every level.
let's say I've got an attraction. Let's say I've got a sports arena or a concert venue or some kind of big draw or a business park. But I am 6 blocks off the line that the train or boring tunnel works. Could I call the transit authority and have them extend the subway to my location?
Yeah, you can call. What are you going to do? You're going to spend billions and you're going to wait decades to get that there.
And the answer is no.
Yeah.
But with the boring company, we know they take a different approach. If you're close enough to the line, you just pay for your spur and your tunnel and your station, I mean. And that's what everyone in Vegas is doing. While the boring company is paying for the main line through town, all the hotels have to pay for their own stations.
Yeah.
But they get them. You can't just add stations like
Can't
that.
wait to see the first. Are they doing this in Las Vegas Loop already, Brian? Because I know you were there.
Yes.
Where when you
so
get to
they
the
have-
hotel, you surface up into the surface, or do you exit out through an exit tunnel, or how does that?
So it depends on the station. Resorts World is underground, but I think Wynn is one of the other stations. It might be the Hilton. I don't remember. Their station is above ground for cost reasons, I assume. But do you have the land? If you have the land and you're willing to pay for the spur that gets the cars back into the main tube, then that's it. Just order it and it'll happen. And the beauty is this is modular. So and there's no guarantee it's not like if we don't make it all the way to the airport by 2030, your money back. There's no money to give back. It's not your tunnel, it's ours.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking this might be a winner. What do you think?
I think it's a winner, of course. I mean, if you stop and think about what Elon said years ago about the Boring Company, the underground is land that nobody's using, nobody owns.
Well, the mole people might disagree. What if I'm a Tesla investor? Am I worried?
So why would you be worried? I mean, it's
right.
a
It's a separate company.
but it's a complement for the vehicles.
Oh, sure.
Like I said, the robo-vans, robo-cars, robo-trucking, all that's going to be using Tesla. In fact, that this announcement with this Music City loop is also going to be restricted to just Tesla cars at this point. So, yeah.
Of course. And let's address that real quick. One reason is it has to be electric. The ventilation system is designed for electric. It's, by the time this opens, probably going to be completely autonomous, which means you have to have an autonomous solution. But even if somebody else comes along with another autonomous solution, it needs to be integrated and predictable. Your autonomous guesswork isn't the same as our cleanly meshed autonomous system, I would think. And I think it's not going to launch with Model Y.
Yeah.
I think it's going to launch with Cybercab, Robovan, something that is purpose-built for this.
Robovans. Yeah. Robovans can seat 20 people.
We don't know because the Robovan is too large for the diameter of existing boring tunnels. They would have to redesign it into a slightly smaller form factor. And it's not yet on the product roadmap. They haven't even started designing it. But that doesn't mean it's not coming. And they wouldn't need it initially if there's only one or two stations. But as soon as you get to an arena, a coliseum, a football stadium, you're going to need capacity. And that, of course, is how you do it. Anything I'm missing, Herbert?
I just think that the Robovan, if it's this particular Music City loop, for example, it's small enough. You can have prototypes. You may not need to get approval like you would if it's a vehicle on the streets with pedestrians. Just like you would if you had a subway, right? You just create a device that's going to move people and it's approved. There's nobody in those tunnels. And I don't know what the regulations are, but it's going to be a lot easier than if you're trying to sell a vehicle out there. It could still happen, I think.
It could still happen. And as we discussed on your show, while this is free for the city of Nashville, for the state of Tennessee, for the federal government, if in the future they say, look, this is great, we'd like you to add additional miles of line. Yeah, and the boring company would say, well, the reason we haven't added it is because it doesn't make financial sense. The cost is too high for the utility we would get. We don't feel capable of charging that much more to serve those communities. If you chip in, then we can do it. And that's a choice they could make. You're not over a barrel. It's not like you're required to do something at this point. This is the kind of partnership where I say, hey, is it okay if I just stand over here? And you go, yeah, I'm just going to stand over here. And then later we'll have a different discussion. That's it. Guys, in the comments, what did I miss? What did I misunderstand? What did Herbert miss? Oh my gosh, this guy, you got to keep an eye on him. And the best way to do that is by visiting Brighter with Herbert, because he does great work every day of the week, usually twice, which is insane. Everybody else, like, subscribe, maybe help out the channel if you get a chance. I'm on Patreon. I'm on X. You could become a channel subscriber on X, a channel member on YouTube, a patron on Patreon. Those are how I'm able to go out and do these amazing adventures where I get to actually see fine folks like Herbert, like Franz von Holzhausen, who I got to see again at the Tesla Diner the other day. He remembered me. That was amazing. That was even better than getting to see him. And I got to also meet Lars Moravy, which is, huge, and others who work in the Tesla community and for Tesla directly. Thank you guys for making my dreams come true. Everybody else, stay tuned, stay juicy, and I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots on the flippity flop.